This is an HP Pavilion 15-inch with AMD processor. I believe it's a Ryzen 5. I haven't checked it out yet. I do know it's got a GTX 1650. It's got a 256 gig hard drive or SSD in it, which happens to be an NVMe. We'll talk about that in a second. But that drive is full. It's a gaming laptop, needs just a little bit of TLC. It's a work computer for a friend of mine. And yeah, it's got a full 256 gig NVMe. And there is the problem, because we're going to go ahead and go to a 2 terabyte sabrent drive. NVMe, of course. You got to see the way this thing is packaged, by the way. Hold on just a second. Let me pull it out of here. Look at this. Now, do these guys do packaging right or what? It's freaking gorgeous in there. But anyway, going from a 256 to 2 terabyte, and guess what? There's no extra slots in here. So, and I don't have a USB that has an NVMe drive. Now I do have one for a SATA, but I'm currently using that. I don't have an enclosure to fit an NVMe. So what I'm going to have to do is the next best thing. Cool Blue over there has 2 empty NVMe slots. So I'm going to take the drive out of here, this drive here, clone this from that, put it back in here, and hopefully everything works out all right. Yeah, so let's get that process started. Now, getting into this bad boy ought to be fairly easy. There's 4 screws up at the top of my Pavilion. There's 3 screws down at the bottom, down where all the label stuff is. We're going to take those out. We should be able to get right to the drive without much of a problem. We'll take it out. We'll put everything in. Well, we'll do a little bit of cleanup, maybe blow it out a little bit. We'll put everything into Cool Blue. We'll do some making sure that on the BIOS that it only reads its original boot drive, so I can clone one from the other when it's got 3 NVMe drives in the system, and then make sure we can clone it, and then stick the big drive back in here, and we should be good to go. So we did manage to get everything cloned. We got everything put back where it belonged. We got things cleaned up a little bit. I went ahead and checked to make sure that all the ports and everything worked. I did not know for sure. I probably should have checked that before I started, but I wanted to make sure that everything works so that when I give it back to them, it's in perfect working order. I did not do a deep clean, but I did do a pretty decent clean just to make sure that everything was in good shape. And it's quite a bit cleaner. Well, I'm not going to say quite a bit cleaner, but it's cleaner than it was. And the keyboard's clean and all that stuff. So hopefully he'll get a lot of use out of it and be very impressed that it was taken care of and that I took it seriously. The extra drive, he's going to go ahead and keep as a spare. But keep in mind, in this, when we were looking at it, there was a spare 2.5-inch spot where he could put a drive later if he chooses to. He conceivably have the main boot up drive and his main C drive be that 2 terabyte and then use another 2 terabyte, 4 terabyte or whatever to store all the stuff that he's creating, whether it be music or whether it be, any other thing, video production or whatever that he's doing. He's got room to put that there. This computer had, I believe it was an AMD Ryzen 5 5500U in it. It's got a GTX 1650, more than enough to be a decent laptop. It in fact is a decent laptop. I like the accents, the green accents and everything. That was pretty cool, and the light up keyboard. The backlit keyboard with the green color, it made it look really, really cool. It's a nice touch with this Pavilion. Pretty easy to work on, and so that was another plus. And we got everything going good for him. So we're ready to turn this back over to him, and another successful job. So you're thinking, but what if I don't have two NVMe slots that are open that I can go ahead and clone from one to the other on? That's not really a problem. You can go ahead and, if you've got one open slot, you can get a PCIe adapter card similar to this one. Takes an NVMe, not SATA, and it will go directly into that PCIe slot. Stick that in there with the NVMe. You can clone from one to the other, and hopefully you should have at least one empty spot. Maybe you have to use two cards. I don't know. But in any case, you should be able to do something like that to clone. It might take a little bit longer, but I doubt it. It's still the same PCIe bus. It shouldn't have any issues at all. And when I've tested before, they seem to work just as fast. So that's another option if you don't have two empty slots. In my case, I was lucky. I did have two slots that were right next to each other. There was no problem at all, and it worked very, very smoothly. Obviously, it worked well, and I'm actually texting him back and forth now to just make sure that we can go ahead and drop it off and get things taken care of for him. So if you found this information at all helpful in any way, or just, whatever the case may be, go ahead and throw a like on it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit me up on all the other socials and all that stuff. But if you don't do anything else, if you don't do any of that, just do me one favor, and let's be good to each other. Smile, wave, hold the door open. Just being kind costs absolutely nothing, and you have no idea what kind of difference it can make in somebody's day. So, still working on the Chrome box over there. Got it completely torn apart and waiting on a power supply for it. But, yeah, but until I get myself into something I got no business getting into, I'll see you later. This one was a good one. It was a success. See you guys later. Have a good day. Take care of yourselves, and we'll see you.